It's about invoking our spirituality to get compliance. And Africans are very religious, and you can market anything, virtually anything, using religion, and people will buy it without thinking. So can we flip over this energy and ask people, like Imam will have said, it is a divine injunction to plant trees and save trees. What about competing? What about churches and mosques competing on who plant the trees the more? And see what will come out of that. And I assure you, within 3 years of this project within our region, boom, you will see forests growing everywhere. But I just want to say the solution to this lies with religious leaders. They have the people in the grassroots, they have the people in the middle, and they of course also can challenge the top.
For all of us to plant the tree. It's intergenerational. Professor Lumumba says it's an intergenerational thing. Our generation should plant the seed, the next generation should water it, the third generation should scrub it, and the fourth generation should benefit from it. So it's a lifeline generation. As we sit down in this forest, Karura forest, I remember Wangari Mataya. She gave me one word one day where they're asking her, why were you able to do this as a girl, a lady, in this part of the world of a patriarchal society? How are you able to break the through? And she kept quiet and said, I have a story to tell you. The story that was given to her by her mother. And what is the story? Which shows never to underestimate. Once upon a time, the whole forest began to put a fire. And fire was burning in the forest. And as the fire was burning in the forest, every big animal going to the river to bring water in order to sprinkle to cut down the fire. And as they're doing, then there's this whoopie bird. The hummingbird with this long, small animal with the long mouth also fly gradually and went to the river and pick water. And she's coming back before she has to fly up, because if she didn't, the fire can burn her. Before she get up there, what remained was just a drop from his mouth. Throw it and then go back to the river, the hummingbird to get the water and bring it back. So suddenly the elephant saw her, and the elephant was laughing. Oh, hummingbird, what do you think you are doing? What do you think you are doing? And she says, I'm doing the little that I can. And then she concluded by saying, it is the little that I can that gave birth to greenbird and gave birth to Karura forest, which we see today.
How do we broadcast it? How do we raise nurseries and ask people to plant them? How do we as spiritual leaders create green days within our places of worship or green weeks and put targets? We will plant this number of trees this year. How do we get the motivation? Even if the government is not interested, it's about us, ourselves. So for me, bringing my faith, my past as my turning point after coming out of the darkness, I saw strands of how I can affect the world. Tracks. One is peace, one is food, one is environment, one is togetherness, one is interfaith relations. And I see Imam and I developing materials, an interfaith material for faith people, both men and women, boys and girls, to begin to engage the environment positively.
And I will say clearly, the need to involve more at the policy making level, at the implementation level, to involve more of religious and traditional people is key. Because today, let's say all the imam, as the pastor have said, we start green khutbah. Green khutbah meaning green sermon. On the Mumbai, every Sunday, there's 5 minutes of green sermon. We talk about environment today. On every Friday khutbah, the imam have 5 minutes of his 45 minutes khutbah to do green. Ajli wal isan wa ita'i zi qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. When he start mentioning this word, people know that it's time to pray, to stand up. Put a pause and bring green element into your khutbah. When we have green mosques and green churches, when we start having green madrasa, green Islamia centers, green theological seminaries, When we start having green even in our homes are people of faith, that in every homes you have a green home, an element that reflects that particular thing.
Taught women interfaith council in Kaduna. Islamic words teaching say when you educate a woman, you educate the nation. Why don't we have our mothers, green mothers, in the whole Africa? Just green mothers. And they can develop a narrative for themselves.
You listening to me as a mother, you have a responsibility. As a daughter of Africa, you have a responsibility. As a mothers of the world, living in Africa, working in Africa, or friend of Africa as a continent, come and share your experience in Australia. Come and share your experience in America. Come and share your experience in Latin America, how you go to save the land. Bring it for us so that together as mothers, I feel if you have the Green Belt movement with Mother Teresa, with Mother Wangari Mataya, we need to have Green Belt across all over our cities so that in each city we have Karora forest. This is what we are looking for. And mothers, you can do that. You can change the mind of the politician to do something great. Finally, for me, I would say, if you are thinking of celestial home, or you want part of the heavenly celestial home, Darussalam, over there in heaven, life begins here. Heaven begins here. Make your own garden of how your heaven will be. Do it here and let's see it in action. May Allah give us the willingness and the courage to know and to act now before it can be too late tomorrow.
Together we say,
plant a tree
and peace be with you.
And peace be with you.